This Friday sees the release of the newest Dreamworks animated film, The Wild Robot. And all week, I'll be talking to some of the stars of that film. We are joined by Oscar winner, movie star, and the voice of Roz, the Wild Robot, Lupita Nyong'o. And my first question is, tell me a little bit about your character, Roz, and how she fits into the overall story of the Wild Robot.
Roz is a robot who is destined to help human beings complete their tasks. She's destined to be of help to the people she serves. But she finds herself on an island that doesn't have any people on it. All the island has is wild animals. And for Roz, she has to adapt to the environment by learning the languages of the animals and really picking up how to survive in this place. But in the process, she never lets go of her true essence, which is to be of help and to be kind. And while it seems to be a liability to the animals she encounters, who say kindness has no place in this wild world, we find that her kindness ends up being her superpower and uniting the animals of the island in a time when it matters most.
Well, I haven't had a chance to see it yet, but from the trailer, it looks amazing. What drew you to this movie? Why did you want to make it?
I was really taken by it because it has just such a genuinely human-centric message that is delivered through the story of a robot, and I just thought that was such an interesting way to get us to see ourselves more clearer.
So, what's it like seeing a character come to life when they're putting this film together?
It has been fascinating to have a front row seat to the process of making Roz and the world that she lives in. I remember, obviously there's the illustration that comes with Peter Brown's book that was the source material. But then there was all the interpretations from pencil sketches and then adding color and dimension and texture and scale that has come through the years, and to see the final version of Roz in the film as three-dimensional as you can possibly get with a two-dimensional medium. It's been so fascinating, and the choices have been very specific to tell this story. One of the coolest things, I think, is that they shied away from giving Roz a human-like face. So yes, she has limbs and that sort of thing, but her face is just two circles. She doesn't have a nose, she doesn't have a mouth, and therefore she doesn't have expression as we would expect it. And yet there's so much empathy we get from her as she evolves into a more empathetic, more individualized being.
Totally. For my last question, I saw in another interview that you really had to fight for the word wild to be included in the title of this film. Can you explain that?
When we think about the word wild in today's society, in modern society, urban society, it's something that we try and get away from as much as possible, right? It has a negative connotation, that it is untamed, it is unsophisticated, and therefore it is problematic. Our societies, as we develop them, we seek more order, we seek linear processes and predictability. But what we learn from nature is that it is perfectly imperfect, and there is a lot of intelligence in not doing the same things always, that there is an order in what would appear as wild. And what Roz learns is, in order to survive this natural world, she has to adapt and improvise and learn to innovate in order to be able to keep up with the laws of this world. And that's really important to remember as human beings, because at the end of the day, we are definitely a part of a wild world. And it is to our own benefit to remember that wildness and hold it dear.
Well, I am a big fan of your work. I really can't wait to see this movie, and I hope everyone checks out The Wild Robot. Thank you.
Oh, thank you so much.